Hey, is Ardes Johnson back? I can't wait to see him.
Ardes Johnson, CEO, NeoVolta, N-E-O-V, NeoVolta.com.
Is he a Simpsons watcher?
Wow.
Oh, big question, Ardes, are you?
I'm all the above, what you guys just talked about.
Boom! Hey, congratulations on that $2 million purchase order, man. That's in the news. It was just last week. Fantastic. I know from watching you and knowing you for a little bit that you guys sort of knew something was coming here and something's going to happen in this industry 6 months ago, 8 months ago when we first met you. But yeah. I kind of feel like this happened faster than anybody expected, because now this opens up the floodgates for the rest of the stuff. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, no, that's the first salvo. You know, I was like to say, we've spent a lot of time over the past 8 months knowing what was coming in the marketplace, and we made the large investment to put a factory outside of Atlanta. We'll be doing 2 gigawatt hours of C&I and utility scale. We've historically been doing residential. Now we're going to hit all 3 verticals, and that's really going to accelerate everything that we've been working on. And it's, you know, people say it's happening fast, but it feels like to me it's taken ages between contractual negotiations and just getting things done. But I was just at the factory last week. We're doing tenant improvements. Equipment's on the way. It'll be there by May. And we'll be up and running by, you know, the end of June. So it's off to the races.
Is something you brought up at the very beginning is storage is seeing more adoption with solar. Is that still the case, and is that accelerated?
Yeah, it definitely is accelerating, actually. I would say in terms of the marketplace, solar is actually a little bit down, maybe even a lot down, but the relative attachment ratio of putting storage with solar is increasing rapidly. In states like California, with the net metering policies, really require you to put storage on. So historically, solar was pretty big in California. It's gone down, but the attachment ratio is the verbiage we like to use, has gone from 10 to 15% up to almost 100%. Wow. And so really that makes someone who's generating solar a self-consumer of their energy. There's no more putting it back on the grid for credit. And now they're just storing it and using it later, and then getting all the other benefits of it in terms of backup capability, participating in virtual power plants and other grid services. There's a lot of more upside to the storage outside of just storing it with your own solar.
Ardes Johnson, CEO, NeoVolta. Website is neovolta.com. Ardes, the more you can say made in the USA, does it make it easier, a selling point for you?
Yeah, for sure. And made in the USA has always been a good selling point. It's just always what is that value you can get for that made in the USA versus the cost of making it in the USA. But in terms of energy storage, and particularly when the new bill, the reconciliation bill that the administration put out, the One Big Beautiful Bill, it required there to be a foreign entity of concern compliance in order for any tax incentives to be received. And a foreign entity of concern happens to be on that list is, you know, Iran, Russia, North Korea, but also China. And China is the largest producer of energy storage. So in order for them to participate, now everyone who is buying from China needs to come buy from the U.S. And that's really helping us and lifting us. And quite frankly, we still partner with some Chinese companies. They just have to do it under the rules that the U.S. has put into place. And I like to tell people that 15 years ago, we pretty much ceded all the technology to China, and they developed it and ran with it. And we're now back onshoring it. And quite frankly, that's going to be a good thing for us, because we're not just taking the technology and bringing it here, but with the profits and the revenues that we make, we're going to continue to invest in R&D and develop it, and hopefully get the long-term view, which is we become a sustainable manufacturer here in the U.S.
So speaking of that, Ardes, I think you mentioned you have a plant in Atlanta, or just outside Atlanta. Is that what you said?
That's right.
Okay. So what are the plans for you to expand in other cities, or what's your plan for manufacturing in the U.S.?
Yeah, for us right now, that facility itself is designed. It's a 200,000 square foot facility that can do, initially going to be doing 2 gigawatt hours a year. We can upsize that facility without changing the footprint to over 8 gigawatt hours a year. Wow. So step one is to get that plant maximized over the next year to 18 months in terms of capacity, and allows us to do it in a way that we can grow with the demand. And then we're going to start to continue to look to vertically integrate. In that factory, we will be importing cells into that factory and then developing the pack, the module, and the final BESS assembly that goes into the businesses and the utility scale into the homes. But for us, we're considering and looking at the cell technology now. So we're talking with various partners and various opportunities to bring the cell manufacturing piece to it. I like to tell people who aren't really familiar with storage is imagine that you buy the AA battery, but I make the flashlight. I do everything.
Yeah.
That's what we do right now, but we're now looking into making the cells as well.
Hey, Ardes, I can't wait to see what's next with you guys, and love to have you back in studio when you're in San Diego again. It's exciting to see how this thing, in really a short time, just the 6 months we've known you, go from being this company that says we're doing this now, we plan on it, and all of a sudden, literally in the span of what should have taken 3 years, you've done in 6 months. I can't wait to see what happens next.
Yeah.
Ardes Johnson, CEO, NeoVolta. Ticker symbol is NEOV. Website, NeoVolta.com.